9 emotional milestones you share with your cat. If you've ever lived with a cat, you already know it's a little like having a roommate who speaks a completely different language and somehow knows all your secrets. But beyond the hilarious quirks and sudden judgmental stares, there's a weirdly profound emotional connection that unfolds over time. Today, we're diving into 9 emotional milestones you share with your cat, moments that go deeper than snuggles or snacks. 1. The first silent understanding. It begins quietly. You sit down after a long day, perhaps with a cup of something warm, and your cat circles once or twice before settling just a few feet away. There's no purring, no nudging, no dramatic performance. It's subtle, a look, a shift of weight, a tail that flicks once and then rests. But in that glance, something clicks. You feel acknowledged without a word being spoken. That first silent understanding is a tiny revelation. 2 living beings sharing a space, respecting one another's presence, communicating without dialogue. It feels like discovering a secret room in your own home, one that had been there all along but you hadn't noticed. Over time, this glance becomes familiar, a recurring reminder that emotional connection doesn't need fanfare. 2. The joint realization of routine. After a while, you notice patterns. Not the cliché cats-like schedules, but the more subtle synchronization of rhythms. You both pause at the same moment, almost instinctively, waiting for the afternoon light to hit a specific spot or for the quiet hum of evening to settle in. Maybe you've both learned to anticipate a door creak, a creaking floorboard, or even a knock from the neighbor. It's like you've unconsciously co-written a dance, and each step is perfectly timed. The fascinating part is that neither of you planned it. It just emerged naturally. And when the routine is disrupted, a new piece of furniture, a strange visitor, there's a brief shared moment of hesitation. You realize your emotional patterns have started to overlap. It's not just life with a pet. It's life mirrored in someone else's awareness. 3. The small betrayal. This one sneaks in with comic timing. Maybe it's your favorite chair, the one you think is exclusively yours after a long day. You settle in with relief, only to feel the subtle but unmistakable pressure of a paw on your leg. Your cat has claimed your spot. A surge of indignation rises, but then you watch them stretch, blink slowly, and curl in with utter contentment. The indignation melts. There's an emotional lesson hidden in this tiny betrayal. Attachment and expectation are complicated, and sometimes love is about letting go, even of a chair. You laugh at yourself, realizing that resentment in the face of affection is fleeting. This milestone teaches you the nuanced dance of compromise in relationships, even ones that involve whiskers. 4. The shared astonishment. Life throws oddities your way, and one day it hits. A shadow moves oddly across the wall. A loud noise startles both of you, or sunlight catches a reflective surface at a strange angle. You both freeze, eyes wide, and for a split second, you are in awe together. It's not fear exactly, but pure, unadulterated astonishment. You notice their reaction, their tiny flinch, the way ears pivot with precision, and you realize you're not just watching them, you're feeling it together. There's an emotional resonance in this shared wonder. For a moment, the world stops, and you are aligned in perception. That alignment of curiosity, surprise, and mutual understanding is more than cute. It's profound. You realize in that strange, fleeting moment that companionship isn't always about comfort. Sometimes it's about facing the oddities of the world side by side. 5. The unexpected companionship. Life has its lows, stressful mornings, endless errands, nights when everything feels heavy. And yet, there's that surprise gesture, a brush against your leg, a sudden curl on the couch beside you, or even the deliberate placement of a paw on your lap as if to say, "I'm here, and we're in this together." It isn't demanded, it isn't planned. It arrives spontaneously, and the emotional impact is disproportionately large. This is the moment when companionship shifts from convenience to meaningful. You notice your own heartbeat slow, your breathing ease, and you understand that presence matters in a way that words can't capture. The milestone here is the realization that emotional reciprocity doesn't need to be verbalized. It thrives in small, consistent acts of acknowledgement. 6. The first moment of mirrored frustration. You think you're alone in your annoyance. The Wi-Fi drops, a container falls with a clatter, or someone forgets to close the fridge properly. But then you see it, a tail flicking with impatience, ears tilting backward, the subtle grinding of teeth, not literal, but almost. You pause, realizing you're experiencing the exact same tension. That mirrored frustration is startling because it's so rare to see your own emotions reflected in another being so clearly. There's a strange intimacy in recognizing your irritation mirrored in someone else's body language. It's as though life itself has handed you a lesson in empathy. Even frustration can be connective. You start to appreciate that emotional alignment isn't always about joy or comfort. Sometimes it's about being understood in your dissatisfaction. 7. The trial of separation. Separation is a strange thing. It sneaks in when you least expect it. A late meeting, a long errand, even just a few minutes spent in another room. At first, it's subtle. You notice the couch feels emptier, the ambient warmth of your presence less tangible. Then you hear it. A soft step, a tail brushing against the floor, a pause in the usual household rhythm. It's like the atmosphere itself is aware of your absence. And when you finally return, there's a careful, deliberate acknowledgement, a slow blink, a tail flick, maybe even a tiny meow, but nothing exaggerated. That tiny gesture carries weight because it says, "We noticed you weren't here, and your presence matters." It's a small, silent ceremony of reunion. Emotionally, this is a milestone because it's the first time you truly understand the depth of your mutual reliance, not as caretakers or playmates, but as two beings whose worlds are quietly intertwined. You start to see your relationship not just as companionship, but as an intricate exchange of attention, care, and awareness, where even brief absences leave emotional ripples. 8. The gentle acknowledgement of change. Time is relentless, and it leaves traces everywhere, in your face, in your routine, and in your cat. There comes a day when you pause and notice subtle shifts. Their pace has slowed, their fur has a different sheen, their reactions are slightly more deliberate, and then you notice it in yourself too. How your patience has expanded, your attentiveness sharpened, your moods subtly recalibrated. It's not dramatic, and it's certainly not loud, but it's profound. This emotional milestone is about seeing life reflected in another being and recognizing that growth is shared, not solitary. You might realize that the once skeptical stare has softened into curiosity, or that your long-held habits have subtly adjusted to accommodate this quiet presence. There's a humility here too, an understanding that life isn't static, that change is inevitable, and that part of love is noticing, adapting, and appreciating those shifts. You've moved together, and in that movement, you discover a deeper layer of empathy, connection, and companionship. 9. The unspoken promise of continuity. You're sitting quietly, maybe reading, maybe staring out a window, maybe just existing. Your cat moves nearby, curling into a shape that seems both precise and effortless. Perhaps their eyes meet yours across the room, a shared glance that is fleeting but heavy with meaning. There is no ceremony, no performance, but you feel it, a promise that life will go on, and that you will continue it together. There's an emotional weight in this moment, a recognition that the mundane and the extraordinary alike are better experienced side by side. It's a promise of continuity, of loyalty, of silent companionship that doesn't need speech or explanation. This milestone encapsulates the essence of shared life, the reassurance that, no matter what happens, your worlds are intertwined in a way that is both grounding and quietly profound. So there you have it. Those were the 9 emotional milestones every cat and owner should go through. Ready for more insights? Discover the signs your cat is proud of you, or learn about the hidden messages in their sleeping positions. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.